Tamboli speaking for the first time in this session. Judges, please give me any indication when you're ready. Thank you. When our current system for voting is unfair, when our system stops representing what we are about, we need to speak up. Senators, a same-day primary is necessary, and today I will give you 3 main reasons explaining why. For the following reasons, stand with me in affirmation of this resolution. First, the current system gives too much power to smaller states such as Iowa and New Hampshire. Barely 1 in 300 Americans lives in New Hampshire, but since 1952, only Herbert Humphrey in 1968 earned a major party nomination without finishing in top 2 in his primary. This year's nomination dreams of Michael Bachmann and Rick Perry were effectively ended by 121,501 candidates, our Republicans, less than the population of Miramar, FLA. If one tiny little state decides the fate of a candidate and its progress throughout other states, then we need to start thinking. Secondly, same-day primary would mobilize voters and increase turnout, and it makes primaries more accessible. The primary decision is a very important one. And if we don't give much importance to it, then we're not choosing the right leader for our country. Furthermore, according to a recent study by the University of Washington, it has been found that voters deciding after results were in from early states changed their perceptions of candidate viability, and this changed whom they intended to vote for. In conclusion, the momentum remains an important factor in presidential nominations. And do not tell me that campaigns get overwhelmed when you have a same-day primary, because we are choosing a leader who can go through hard times. Now let's reflect. First, Iowa and New Hampshire residents are having an unfair advantage in voting. And then, people are becoming biased about a leader that we need to choose for our country. This can really affect the name and representation of our country. We need to start becoming smart, and we are known for the correct way. This is about equal rights, so we should start and vote in affirmation and keep it that way. Thank you, and I'm now open to questions.
Okay, that was a speech of 2 minutes, 18 seconds. Questions? Senator Nair?
Wouldn't different days, caucuses, and primaries allow for a more developed campaign and maybe show candidates their true colors?
Okay, that is very true, but what I'm trying to say is that I'm not saying that don't give them enough time to show and express themselves. They can do that another way too. I'm just saying that put it on the same day for the benefits I just stated.
Okay, questions? Senator Ram?
Senator, given that this has not worked in the past and early states will not agree to changing the schedule, how will this process work?
You can't say that this hasn't worked in the past. The final elections are on one day.
Okay.
On Super Tuesday in 2008, campaigns were overwhelmed because 24 states held their primaries on one day, so campaigns were overwhelmed. What do you say about this?
You have evidence for that, but I have evidence that on the final election day, it's the same process, it's the same thing, it's only one day, and campaigns are not overwhelmed. And it's about the candidate representing themselves. And we need to choose a candidate that can actually represent ourselves. So we need to get smart, and we need to vote in affirmation.
Senator, don't you think if with a single-day primary, the smaller states would lose their voice?
Actually, that it's really good that you brought up that point. Smaller states right now, like Iowa and New Hampshire, they have too much power right now, as I stated in my speech. Iowa and New Hampshire, actually, I have research from the Washington Post that 5 Super Tuesday votes combined is 1 voter's value in Iowa and New Hampshire. How does that feel to you guys? You guys, I bet you don't live in Iowa and New Hampshire. We need to be equal.
Okay. Next question.
The Electoral College, when we go to the convention, all the states' electoral colleges make up who finally gets nominated. California, Florida has 99 electoral college electorates. Oklahoma has 66, but New Hampshire and Iowa has very few. Wouldn't the candidates end up going to California, Florida, Texas, and not presenting or representing themselves in these smaller states where their local issues could no longer be heard?
as history shows, Iowa and New Hampshire is actually the first and second state to vote in primaries.
By constitutional law, they have to be.
Yeah. So with electoral, so what you're saying is that electoral votes are.
If you had all the,
Okay, there's no back and forth
Oh,
question
sorry.
allowed, and the questions have to be only 1-2 sentences long. That's a good, thank you, Senator.